The self-awareness trap that most people fall into. I was one of them. That's how it all started for me. Getting into self-improvement. Who wouldn't want to improve their lives? Who wouldn't want to make a lot of money, be in the best shape of their lives, have the best relationships, eat the healthiest food, live in the best environments, and just live up to your fullest potential? Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that? How many people are willing to go through certain things to get that? Maybe less people. But who wouldn't want the idea that's glamorized of reaching this pinnacle of success? Whatever that looks like for you. I'm not even talking about just material success. But I think it comes to a point where you gotta look in the mirror. You gotta look in the mirror. Just like this mirror over here. You gotta look in the mirror. And the reason you have to look in the mirror is because you need to understand that life is so much more than just improving your life. It's so much more than just improvement, I should say. It's so much more than that. And I fell into this trap of thinking that all there is to life is, how can I improve a certain aspect of myself that I don't like, that I'm insecure about, or whatever it stems from. It could not even be insecurity. It could just be because there's more out there. And I don't want this message to be something about how it's not important to improve your life, because it definitely is. You should be able to get the most out of your life and do the things to become the person. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But it's self-improvement is a means to an end, not an end to a mean. So you're improving your life. Or actually, I take that back. It's not even a means to an end, because that implies that there's something that you're trying to finally get to. Self-improvement should be a way of living, but a way of living that isn't taking away from life itself. Life itself is not about improving yourself. Life itself is just about being. And self-improvement is the doing part. It's very ego-focused. It's very mind-focused. And I'm talking from experience. This is a topic that I feel very passionate about, because for me, at least in my journey, and a lot of my friends' journey, they went through the rabbit hole of self-improvement, of the YouTube videos, of the books, of just soaking their mind with all this information about how can I improve my life. And I do want to say that I think this stage is necessary. And I'm happy I went through it. I'm happy I went through the rabbit hole, because I was able to get out and see it for how it is, to then progress into life, into different things in life. And there's a lot of people out there, either they never have gone into the rabbit hole, which is pretty upsetting, pretty sad, pretty, it's just pretty, I don't even know what the word I'm trying to say. I'm just saying a lot of people don't end up getting into that space of improving their lives, and it's you can say it's depressing, honestly, for those people, because they don't know what else there is to life than just what they're used to. And I think self-improvement opens up that door of a new kind of life you can live, like the door of potential that you never really knew you were able to access in the first place. And then the books, the YouTube videos, the information is that key towards that door. And a lot of people are still in that same door. Still in that same door, seeing things in a certain lens. And you see, the reason why self-improvement gets to a point where it almost becomes like a poison is because you start to operate in this very narrow lens. You start to filter out everybody who is not within this lens of improving their lives. And some people take it as far as getting their family involved in that process, because they're not the ones reading the books. They're not the ones, being super intentional with their time and energy. And you need to understand that that was you at one point. And chances are, if you're watching this video and you're not, I don't know, in your 40s or 50s, you probably have lived, I can guarantee you've lived more of your life less awakened than more awakened. Less about improving and more about just being a regular human being. And I fell into this trap of having it almost become very mechanical, okay? The checklist, the to-do list, the books I was reading, a lot of it really wasn't about, it was almost veering away from like true real life. And I think fiction books have their place because there's stories to be shared, stories that may not be real, but they relate to the human experience. And to be honest, a lot of these self-improvement books do not directly tie into the human experience, tie into aspects that we could all relate to, we could all resonate with. It doesn't need to be always about how could I optimize my life for more efficiency, how could I work less hours, make more money, be in better shape, become the person I've always wanted to become, Again, that has its place, A vision board has its place. What do you think I have right here in front of me here? Look at that. I don't know if you can see here. That's my vision board, my mood board for 2026. And as a former self-improvement activist, you could say, I still understand the value in these things. There is so much value in visualization, in writing down your goals, in clarity, in focus. But don't be that person that makes it your entire personality. And that's why it's these people online, I gravitate towards, but they're just this figure. I gravitate towards a certain part of them. But I've never wanted to be in this box of productivity, making money online, whatever it may be. And I understand the game, niches, and how if that's what works with you, that's what works with you. But a life experience, there's a lot of depth to it that is limited by your scope of what you view as something improving your life and not improving your life. It takes away from that very essence of life that we can't even explain, we just experience. You see, self-improvement as a way of always explaining things. It's almost like science. It always has an explanation to things, right? It kind of ties into science, you could say, of like learning about your subconscious mind, learning about, how to focus, how to rewire your dopamine receptors and your and just different things, your neurotransmitters in your brain, and increasing neuroplasticity. Like, these are all fascinating topics that I've learned about. But again, you don't want to miss the point. This is why I talk about IRL maxing, which is my thing. That's my thing. I am the individual who preaches IRL maxing. And I'm going to talk about this more. I've only made one video about that. But that's my mission. Is IRL maxing is not about saying don't improve your life and just live life to its fullest, YOLO. It's like no. That's not what IRL maxing is. IRL maxing is a culmination. It's like synthesizing all these different topics and ideas, right? Like the idea of ignorance is bliss, retard maxing, right? About like just like not giving a and just going with the flow and seeing what happens. But also I think IRL maxing is just like about still like being disciplined and being focused and like doing the actual work, because this universe rewards physical action. So I guess IRL maxing comes down to my philosophy of living, you could say. And I guess to simplify it, in simple terms, it's just about being in person and soaking up the most out of this human experience and constantly increasing your quality of experience by doing and being, because there's two sides, the doing and the being. and I think it's important to distinguish which one's which. This is doing, but maybe after this video, I'll be being. I'm going to the sauna right after this. Sauna and cold plunge I got here. And I'll be being. I'll just be like being in the moment. And that is IRL maxing. I think IRL maxing has a different sides, different aspects. But that's a video for another time about IRL maxing. The point of this video is to understand that self-improvement is a trap. That is not a way of living. It is not a way of being. It is simply a tool, just like money. Just like money, it's a tool you can use to improve your life. A tool. But it's not the end all be all. It's not the end all be all. So just remember that. And this is a message that I wish more 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds would know this. And look, sometimes I get it. You have to go through it to then get out, to then zoom out. Just like myself, I'm 23 now. When I was 20, I got into it, say around 22, or this past year, being 23, I've been able to zoom out and just like become more of a human, become me. We're not this self-improvement person. Like we're just ourselves. And I think it's important to go back to those childlike qualities of however you were. If you were playing video games all the time, like, yeah, don't do that. But maybe there's something to be said about that. Maybe you gravitate towards those things, those aspects of novelty and stimulation that you crave in different ways. So you could, you could go and manifest that and actually, tap into that nature in different creative pursuits and in art forms or whatever it may be. It's like there's so many different things out there in the world that is so beyond self-improvement, so beyond entrepreneurship, so beyond making money online. There's actual art out there and actual like deeper things, esoteric knowledge out there, and you're not going to be able to be accessing that if you're so focused on one thing. So expand your mind. And I'm sure if you're watching this video, either you're in this self-improvement stage, or maybe you're like me and you've had these thoughts too. And I hope you're able to really see life for how it is and formulate your own way of living. Your own way of living. So for me, it's about IRL maxing, it's about being the moment and all that, and still like working my business and all that. It's a combination of different things. Formulate your own way of living. And a part of that pie will be self-improvement. I fully back that. But we're all individual puzzle pieces. We all have our own, different aspects, different shapes, different structures. And it's important to formulate your own puzzle piece. So no matter who it is online, I don't care how bright they are, I don't care what they're preaching, take a nugget, but then get back into yourself, into your way of living. Because that's the most powerful thing, is your truth. This all goes back to your truth and the way you're able to create in a way that's most aligned with you. So I hope you resonated with this. If you did, let me know. Feel free to comment down below. And there's also a link if you want to chat with me and potentially work a one-on-one together on different things such as this. That's it. Much love, and I'll catch you next one. Peace out.